Hang on. All right. Welcome back, everybody. It is Iowa State basketball time. It's been a little bit since I've been here again. It's been quite a busy last 6 or 7 weeks for me. As I put on my Twitter account, just 2 days ago, closed on my house, my first house. It's a small house, but it's a house. And I don't move for a couple weeks, so I've got a little bit of time to not really worry too much. But I'm excited because also in that time, I have gotten me a new computer and gotten that all set up. There's still a few things like that I haven't, gotten together on here. Like I had to like redo a lot of my OBS stuff because that doesn't just like carry over. So I'm excited for that. It's been a busy couple of weeks to say the very least. So yeah, my brand new computer, my I was gonna say brand new house, but the house was built in like 51, so it's not exactly brand new. I'm interested in seeing because I changed up the ticker just a little bit. You don't really see it. Well, I didn't change up the ticker. I changed up the video settings. So I don't know how well it's going to line up like it used to. Because I realized that I think a lot of the video was very much, oh boy. Get ready for college hoops. I realized that a lot of the video I think was moved around a little bit because I figured out that the Elgato really, my Elgato, the old school one that they don't even carry, like they don't even deal with anymore. Really doesn't like. I knew it. I knew the. Okay, because with the old ticker, it used to line up. Oh, come on now! It used to line up right to the bottom. But now that I have it like full screen again, that's what it was. I think that was also an issue because I think people had mentioned that when I was playing like Xbox games or whatnot. Was they're like, oh, it seems like some of the edges are cut off. And I realize now that some of the edges were cut off. And now things are lined up full screen again, and now it looks all dicked up with the ticker and everything. So, I'm going to do an MMA on the channel. I'm probably going to do it after this, honestly. I got some time. Oh, shit. It hasn't even been, it hasn't even been like I'm super big on NBA 2K, and I still forget the dribble stick. I still forget that the dribble stick isn't a thing here yet. Takes a three. Hey, there we go. Let me see. Your fan broke, a blade fell off. You're getting a new one. Oh, it's a ceiling fan. Okay. I don't, God, I can't remember the last time I had a ceiling fan in my room. My new house isn't going to have ceiling fans either, which is fine. I think they're just lights. Holy shit, I can't remember what's in my fucking house right now. They do have some, like, not really chandeliers that I kind of want to deal with, but, like, it's like hanging lights. Like, inbounds the ball. Like I said, it's not quite nice as chandelier. Well, chandelier might be a catch-all term for lights that are like hanging from the ceiling and are like upturned lights, but that's kind of what it is. And they got like 2 of them, and they're both set for the old folks that were living in there for a while. And the guy was like 5.5 feet tall, so it didn't really matter for him, but it does matter for me because I'm just gonna consistently bump into that. Not to mention, I don't want to buy those old school lights that connect into that goddamn thing. So I at some point want to get rid of that. Modernize it a little bit. Why did I do that? Left side. Ah, there we go. Damn it. All right. Yeah, I just have my standing fan now, which I haven't really turned on in a little bit because we just left the heat off. I just turned the heat back on for the first time in a while, and it's okay. I believe the text is definitely smaller than it used to be. I could definitely tell that the text is. I think I put a little bit more of the screen than usually is on there, which might be a good or bad thing. I was messing with it a little bit, and I thought I had it right, but I don't know. Maybe it's better that it's. Maybe it's better it's a little bit smaller.
Dishes left side. Williams tosses it up.
I thought about trying to make like a little outline for it, you know, try to look like one of them professional Twitch streamers.
Vasquez dumps it off.
But this is what you get. But yeah, you were talking about the new basketball league that is supposed to get rid of college, but isn't that haven't they already tried that? Didn't they have like the LeVar Ball thing? I don't know if the Baller brand whatever is still a thing. They had Drew League. Drew League might be like a semi-retired. It might be more semi-pro than college. But I thought Drew League was supposed to have some prospects and stuff in it. Why, you know, I feel like you could go to some of these other markets. Well, I guess G League is a thing, and G League wasn't really a thing for a little bit, or even when it was just D League, it wasn't much of a thing. I mean, people don't really go to D League games around here. You know, I can't imagine what an independent basketball league would be like. I think you'd have to do something like way different than other people if you were going to do something like that. Has their own called G League Ignite. Oh, so is like the NBA creating their own like sub G League to possibly replace college?
Right wing, Redford from deep, got it. They're in front, 17-15. About 8.5 minutes left in the half.
Like, I feel like at this point you need to like change the rules up a little bit. Like, I think that's why Big 3 works. I don't know if since COVID they've been doing any Big 3 stuff, but I feel like people went to Big 3 because it was at least different. So I feel like you'd have to do something different.
Well, it looks like they're getting set to inbound the ball.
Someone needs to put money back in a slam ball. That would be different. The G League has a team for prospects. Okay.
Brings it up court.
So they don't have their own. Okay. So they have a team specifically for. Oh, the Big 3 was canceled. Oh, that's sad. That wasn't actually that bad. It was different. It was fun. Gave a lot of those retired NBA players something to do without having to break themselves.
Gets them both. Kuhn inbounds the ball.
Own team in the G League that plays other G League teams that has the top high school prospects. I thought you were basically saying that they're doing their own essentially double A. Like the G League is their triple A and they were doing double A.
Gave him room to get it off.
Mainly because they prefer the long three over him driving it in.
Raises up, knocks down the first one.
I think they probably still have independent basketball leagues sitting around. You just got to find them. I know here in Iowa, Des Moines used to have a team in an independent basketball league.
Is tagged with the reach, and that's his first foul.
But that died a while ago. G League is double A. They don't have triple A. I thought G League basically is triple A. I mean, that's the next, unless we're counting college as like triple A or something.
Takes it up. The finger roll was laid in by Carrington.
I don't even know if Europe is technically considered triple A, considering like it's still kind of its own league though. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, we got the Timberwolves G League team. It used to be like the Nuggets and Bulls D-League team back when we were the Energy, but we used to have an independent basketball team. We used to have a thing called the Des Moines Dragons, and they were not bad. And I found out that there's still like independent basketball leagues. But yeah, I feel like, you know, they just kind of got to know what they are sometimes. Like, amazingly enough, like independent baseball leagues still tend to hover around a little bit. Like, there's a lot of independent baseball leagues that don't last long at all, and they don't make shit for money. But there are some that are like relatively successful. I know up in Sioux City they got a relatively successful independent baseball team. I think like, you know, 3,000 people show up for it a game. Well, no, I think the stadium holds like 3,000 people, but I think they still get like 1,500 people a game sometimes.
Williams inbounds the ball.
See, that's what I always thought the G League really just was just AAA. Like I said, like AAA. There we go. Like AAA basketball. Because, you know, the NHL's got the AHL, and then of course MLB's got AAA baseball. There's nothing to do in fucking Sioux City. I mean, Sioux Falls is also right there, but that's not, you're not going to, there's not much to do in Sioux Falls either. I bet you they have an independent baseball team too. They have an indoor football team. Can't the NFL have a development league? I feel like a lot of the, I feel like, I don't know, the NFL, I feel like any of the like hyped up independent football leagues that come up want to be that NFL development league. Like, obviously the AAF desperately wanted to be that, but the NFL said no. The XFL could have been that and could still be that, depending on, you know, what happens when it comes back, if it comes back. You know, I feel like the NFL is just not going to pour any money into extra development of guys. So they're going to have to they're going to have like unofficial farm leagues, like the XFL, or I guess indoor football league could also kind of be that.
Dishes to the high post.
Ooh, there we go. There we go.
He's got 7. The Wildcats will take a timeout.
And the Monuments has nothing to do with North and South Dakota. Yep. It's Mount Rushmore and a bunch of oil.
Williams inbounds the ball. Kansas State has had serious problems with their interior defense. And Tracy has a report from their bench.
Coach Fife is definitely aware of that problem.
CFL is proposing to merge with the new XFL. Is Canadian football not that big?
Desperate measures here, Vern.
Thanks, Tracy.
He's either got to foul hard or don't foul at all. You can't just give up easy three-point plays.
I mean, CFL's been going for long enough. I figured they were probably at least relatively successful, even if they didn't pay people a lot of money. You mean they don't want to? They don't want to merge with FCF, fan-controlled football? Oh, they're in dire straits financially. Yeah. Some big teams are really big and some are small. That makes sense. Football's not really a Canadian thing.
Wait for the misstep and then capitalize.
Vasquez catches it inside.
I wonder if, now that I think about it, obviously they don't showcase it here, but I wonder if they have independent hockey leagues. I've not seen an independent hockey league. Like I wouldn't count like the USHL as part of that, would they? Would it? Because I feel like that's almost like a development league of its own.
I don't think he'll miss many more of those looks.
But like, you know, it's big enough in Canada. You'd think they'd just be like, yeah, these guys aren't in the NHL or AHL. They're too, you know, they can. I guess they could go overseas. I guess that's a big difference between something like American football and a lot of these other sports is you could technically go overseas, which would make an independent league a little less able to happen. Oh shit.
Behind the arc, buries it. They're up 37-29.
OHL, QMJHL. Okay. Yeah, like overseas stuff. I mean, I don't know how popular those are technically because, you know, I think about they got a bunch of, you know, independent leagues overseas for basketball too. They don't make a lot of money, but, you know.
Hands it off. Ball gets it. High post. Backs in. Sinks it for 6. They extend the lead to 8.
I guess technically Japan has an American football league too.
Skip pass.
You know, I've seen that the X Bowl.
Redford.
You could only have so many foreigners, and they couldn't have played professional football ever.
Oh, the big fella with a tough rebound. No denying him on that one.
The quick
Ooh.
shot.
Damn it. I think he got just a small piece of it. Yeah, the X League.
Knight tosses it up.
Uh-oh, that's 3.
Fall, but that foul will give him 3 shots. Makes the first of 3.
Hey, Okada.
Good on number 2. Both teams will make some substitutions.
Is this the new monitor?
Cautious with that type of problem. If he jams
I mean, I didn't really get a new monitor. I got a new computer.
Believe me.
And I realized that I screwed up some of the video settings. I think while it seems like I fucked up some of the video settings, I think I actually unfucked it. And now I just gotta move everything back to the unfucking.
He'll head to the strike.
Just too much contact there, Vern. You're not going to get away with it if you affect the shot that much.
Takes it up. Knocks down the first one.
Yeah, move the ticker up. That'd be nice.
Vasquez goes up.
I could maybe put something else there too. Oh shit! I just sat there.
No good by Redford. Kansas State is having big problems from beyond the arc.
Damn it!
Tracy has something for us on that.
I'm wondering if the colors aren't as washed out as they usually are. I wonder if that's an Elgato thing or if there was something with like OBS or what it was. It's probably an Elgato thing, honestly. Because I know there's this weird thing with all my console games on this where the colors are just slightly washed out compared to my PC. I think it's probably a setting in OBS that I still haven't looked at yet.
If they hurry it up.
Mihailovic backs in.
I actually tried to get him to take a fadeaway. I probably should have just passed out. I'm not a smart cookie. All right.
Redford gets it outright.
Up.
Bounce pass out left.
Oh my God!
From 10 feet.
It's like 3 different dudes going up to block that shit.
44-36. Give us your opinion on the first half, Bill.
If we don't see some improvement soon, this could be even further
All
out
right.
of reach. They need to make some adjustments.
You know something I found out that I might have to look into is I found out Well, I kind of knew that the create a team feature in Madden 12 was the last year that they actually had a create a team feature in a Madden game. But what it sounds like is, even though there's kind of a not as many like logos as there are possible teams, but it sounds like you could honestly make a 32 team custom league with created teams in Madden. I might have to look into that, especially with my new computer being able to handle it. I don't even have to fire up my PS3 or 360 anymore for that. I just have to, let my video card turn into a space heater.
For them to hold on to this lead. Coach told me that he wasn't going to play this next half by the book, and that he'll try things that some might call counterintuitive.
There we go.
I guess we'll see what he means soon enough. Back to you,
I've been testing out the PS3 emulator with a lot of my stuff. It works very well. I don't know if there's a ton I'm gonna do. I really would want to do with it. The college football revamp thing looks pretty nice. I've been kind of messing around with that.
Weber puts up the tray, gets the bucket.
Doing my own like franchise mode off stream with the new worst. With college football revamp, there's a new worst team. It's no longer, what is it, North Alabama or South Alabama? South Alabama was the worst team in NCAA football. It's now Akron. Akron's now far and away the worst one. Any entertaining stories? Not much. I mean, it's just, interesting things that happen in my life, but there's not really a good story attached to it. Like, I don't really have an entertaining story attached to when I got off work early a couple weeks ago on a Friday so that I could go drive to Kansas City and drive all the way back. Just like I drove to Kansas City just to get my new computer and then drove back. And then, of course, I closed on my house. There's some things I need to do with it. One thing I did like... Ooh. Oh, damn it. One thing I did like is I pulled up part of the carpet, and that carpet's going because I'm one of those people that I used to really like carpet when I was younger, and then as I'm older and I'm just dealing with and now I have to now I have apartments, and my apartment's got carpet, but in the last 5 years I've been living here, it's just crazy. What the carpet has been like in certain areas, and I really don't want to deal with that. And it's just so much easier to just clean up hardwood. And as it turns out, there's actually hardwood flooring underneath the carpet in the house I just bought. So I think sometime one of these weekends, if not this weekend, then probably next weekend, just head over there with some tools and just start peeling up all that carpet. I would probably need to hire someone to actually sand the floor and finish it and all that stuff. But yeah, that's going to be one of my first things is dealing with that floor. And of course, it's not going to get any easier than it is right now, where there's literally nothing in it and I'm not moving in for a couple weeks. There we go. Hey, Tom.
Ball dumps it off. Swings it to the left wing.
So I figured that's the time to do it. And also, one thing I've noticed now that I'm in there is I don't know what the previous owners had done to the electrical, and I kind of knew this was there when I'd walked through the house. But there is it's insane how many old two-prong outlets there are in that house. And I'm not 100% sure that the three-prong outlets that are actually in that house actually have a ground wire in.
They're still up by 9.
So I feel like that's probably going to cost me a little bit of money.
Snatched inside by Mihailovic.
But it'll probably be worth it to actually modernize that stuff. The light switches are also
They're bringing the double team.
quite aged.
Catches it on the elbow. Lets it go.
Like they got it's sort of the older light switches that like
3 for 4 from deep.
they don't
The
look,
Wildcats with some
you know, they don't look like a typical light switch. Like it looks like a light switch, but it's one of those old school ones that you like have that loud
lead.
like that loud click
That was a
when
much
you
quicker shot than they might have liked. It was
turn it
pretty
on.
open look, so it's tough
Because
to
like
call.
modern light
Feels
switches
like
anymore
Kansas
don't
State
do that.
leads
Like
it
you
with the
can just
pass.
kind of go up down up down.
Shoots it.
Like you don't hardly
Gets another
even
shot, and
hear
this
it.
time it counts.
But yeah,
He's got
all the
6.
light switches in there are like one of those older ones where you just hear the like the snap of the
Backs him down.
of the switch turning.
Lee
So
dishes
there's
to
going to
right.
be some updating needed. Other than that, it's a good house. It just needs sorely needs updated. It's just an
They now
older
lead
couple
by 12.
that don't speak any English, which is weird because they've lived in that house since
Step back over the midfield line
'95.
there, and that's an over and back violation.
Like they've lived like that's the house I guess they got when they moved from Europe. But it's like I feel like after 25 years they'd pick up something. How did you
It's
get through
deflected,
life
and it's picked up by Kansas State.
not speaking any English?
Intercept. What great reflexes.
It's like if I moved to Japan and I spent 25 years in Japan and just didn't really pick up anything,
Backs in,
even like basics.
turned away.
Ugh.
You've got to be more aggressive than that, Vern. If you don't take it in there strong, you're going to get it sent right back at you.
Has it in the paint. Coon.
Oh, I think he
Gets
got a
the
piece,
layup
but it
after the
didn't
pump fake
mean
freezes
anything.
the D. Nice look by Carrington. 6 assists, and he leads both teams in that category. Takes it up. Buried by Chewisi.
Hey,
They're in front.
all right.
59 to
We're doing
47.
okay.
7 minutes left
We're not
in the
doing
second
like
half.
amazing. We're still
The
up by
Wildcats
12. That's
call
pretty good.
timeout.
D Leathers, appreciate the host. Mm, 25 years in the USA, no English. That's weird. And the first time you've heard of that. Yeah. I think that's probably why they picked the, I don't know what I don't know what their real estate agent might speak. He obviously speaks English perfectly fine because I did finally meet him on the day of closing. And, you know, he sounds like he's been from here the entire time. I'm guessing he's probably has parents or grandparents from sort of the country of origin that they're from, just based off of his last name. So that's probably how they got around to getting this taken care of.
With the soft touch. They take a 12-point lead.
But yeah, you know the one thing that surprised me, I feel like I got into the wrong business, or maybe life just treated him well, because the real estate agent, the seller's real estate agent, he looked like he was my age. He might have been older, I don't know, but he looked like he looked and dressed like he was my age. And then he like drove and when he took the papers and I, greeted him and all that stuff, and I drove away, and he drove away. He drove away in a what did he drive away in? A Camaro, like one of those, like one of the sporty Camaros, like definitely not a cheap one.
Mihailovic catches it out left. Fires. Kuhn wipes the board off the window.
So maybe if you're watching this and you're wondering what to do with your life as you're graduating high school or getting ready to graduate it,
Carrington
and you're thinking,
has it right wing.
what should I do? Maybe getting into real estate wouldn't be too bad. I don't know. Yeah.
Chewisi dishes it to the high post.
If you are honestly having that question, the real answer is trade school.
Out left.
I'll be honest. If there are honestly any young adults being like, I just graduated high school, or I'm about to graduate high school, I wonder what I should do with my life. Go to a trade school. if you're not afraid of working with your hands, you'll make a shitload of money. Being like a plumber or an electrician or like doing HVAC. And trade school costs like hardly anything. And you can do it at community college. Those trade schools are like fucking community. You can go to a local community college. They'll train you for like, it's like always like a 2-year type degree basically. Costs like 8 to 10 grand maybe.
Dumps it down low.
You can pay that off like it's nothing.
From deep. Great deep.
And you make a bunch of money. You'll have to kind of suffer through the shit being an apprentice and doing an apprenticeship for a while. But then again, as I've learned from any job, you got to wade through the shit for a while. I had my roommate when he started his brand new job, and he's just like, God, this is really like a pain in the ass. I got to work my ass off. I'm working 6 days a week. I'm like, yeah, man, I know what that was like when I first started working at the post office. He's like, you had to work 6 days a week? I'm like, yeah. But it's just that I've been there for like 11 years now, so like I had already put my time in, and now I'm past the time where I have to put a bunch of silly work in. That you know, I'm past the point where I'm forced to work 60 plus hours a week. I can now just work my 40, maybe a little bit more if I like the money.
Can't connect on the quick shot.
Oh shit!
Shot you work for, Bill, even though he's not their number one option. The defense will have to show him some respect because he will hit that given another chance.
Oh damn! Ooh, perfect.
Lets it go.
There you go.
Up
by 15. That's pretty good.
Under 4 minutes left in the second half.
I'm glad I started streaming because like I had this idea of doing it, and I had this like weird feeling that it's just like, oh shit, I haven't streamed in at least a week, maybe a week and a half. And I'm going to get to a point where I'm just never going to stream again. I'm just going to like, you know what? I'm kind of comfortable just doing this.
Right wing tosses it up. They answered right back with a three-pointer by Lee. He's shooting 100%.
All right, this should be enough. I'm going to drain these and then probably be good.
Knocks down the first one. Both teams are making
There's
a few
one.
lineup changes.
I got one of the guys at work that he's actually followed like college basketball. Like he actually took time off recently during the end of the NCAA tournament. I think it should be fine. He took time off to watch the end of the NCAA tournament. He's really big into college basketball, and he's been telling me how excited he is by a lot of the new actual signings that Iowa State, I guess, has been having with their new coach, because Iowa State did terribly this season in real life and fired the coach, and I guess the new coach is bringing in some people. So there's at least that. What's a great release time in the game? Honestly, I haven't even thought about that. Probably right at the top of the jump. That's usually where it is. Right at the apex of the jump, I think, is usually the best place. Get these phone calls out the way. Ah, damn it. Close. All right. Let's see that. Request game tape. He's got the scouting. Give him that. Give him something. Email and game tape. All right. Cool. Spread the love. Oh, right. You know what I should do? I finally grouped together my ticker into one thing so that it's not such a pain in the ass to deal with. 63. Actually, I'm going to move this just up. There you go. That's our 98th home win. Almost there. We'll probably hit 100 on this. Now that I've said it, I'm going to find a way to lose. Am I getting MLB The Show 21 tomorrow night? I thought about it, but I have a general feeling that I'm not going to get it. This is an away game, so we could just lose here. Cool. And then we have Oklahoma State. I had a feeling I was thinking about getting it because I was like, oh, you know, I could do I could do hang on, let me look at this. 86. Okay, we'll probably wipe the floor with them here. That's not too bad. I considered it, but like I thought with as many baseball games as I've bought and just not played all that much, it's probably not a thing that I really need to care so much about, honestly. It sounds I don't know. Maybe it doesn't sound weird, but it's just one of those things where I'm sitting here like, why would I buy it when I would just probably play? It's kind of like NHL. I buy like the NHL game almost every year, and like I'll do franchise mode a little bit, but mostly I'm just doing Be a Pro. I'm like, is it even worth the $30 that I spend on it? I recently kind of got back into playing Super Mega Baseball 3, and I think a lot of that is revolved around the idea that if I want to play a baseball game, I've got a perfectly good baseball game that I enjoy. I just need to actually get back into the swing of it. Not to mention, at some point, if I do decide to get a new game, the new Pro Baseball Spirits that they're putting out this year is going to have a Switch release, so I might do that. It looks like they won't be doing the show for Switch this year. Yeah, that was. Oh wow, offensive 3 seconds. And the ref's going to call him for it. Why buy it? Yeah, that's what I was sitting here thinking. I got wow, I got too many games as is that I buy and then don't play all that much. So I'm like, okay, there's not much of a reason for me to shill out the money, even if I were to get Xbox Game Pass, because I'm like, well, I'm basically just paying the $60 just over the course of 4 months. Then at that point. If I buy the Game Pass to play this, because I could play other games, but I probably won't. What a pass! I think that's one of the things that I don't think I brought that up to my roommate, because we've argued over the idea of Game Pass versus just buying games, and I do get his idea on it, and I think the thing is that we just play games somewhat differently, where I have select groups of games. There's a fair amount of games that I own and then don't play a lot. And then like it feels like a waste of money, and then I'll play a different game and I'll put a shitload of hours into it. So I feel like I have my certain like handful of games, and then there are other things that I'll buy and want to play, but I don't know. I don't think I feel like in my brain I can't justify why I should buy it. That being said, when the new Pro Baseball Spirits comes out on Switch, I'll probably buy that and justify it in my head. There we go. Oh. What's good? How's it going? It's been going good. A lot has happened. I mean, like I said, I don't really have like interesting stories other than the fact that the people I bought a house from couldn't speak English, except for the realtor. The realtor did fine, but yeah. But yeah. It's a lot of like cool life things, but like nothing interesting really came out of it other than I gave a bunch of money away and signed a bunch of papers, and now I have a house. And now I need to spend more money to fix up the house a little bit. It's certainly livable as is, but there's some things I want
But
to
they
do.
still lead by 3. Let's go to our
Do I have a
sideline
Discord?
reporter,
Yeah,
Tracy
I feel like I should
Bolton.
almost put that in the body because I've been asked about it before. My Discord is very much like a personal friends type thing. Like I have things that I have like I have in a group of Discords where it's like okay, like game stuff I'm following or something like that. But mostly my Discord is just for
Misfired on that last 3 by Vasquez.
personal friends of mine.
Swings it to the
I don't like have my own Discord like the the minimum wage gaming Discord. My roommate did that for his YouTube channel and doesn't hardly use it, and I just didn't want to have that responsibility.
Fernandez tosses it up court.
Yeah, I was looking at one and
Catches it out left. Dish
got
right
one
side.
down. I feel pretty good about the price and everything. It's not going to cost me a ton of money. I mean, it's going to cost me
Grabs the rebound
a fair bit of money, but honestly, with the way that rent prices have been, I feel like the money I'm paying for a house right now would be the money I'd be paying for a one-bedroom apartment in like 8 years.
Cox passes to the right. Lead.
Maybe even
14
sooner. Who
rebound.
knows?
It's a little
Any
short.
half-decent
Gets
one-bedroom
the front
apartment
door.
around here is almost
They're now in front by
$800,
5.
and I'll be paying like $980 for
Lets
my
it go.
house.
Right
Ah.
inside by Doss.
Doss, fought for that rebound. That's some toughness for you.
Bounces it to the paint.
And then also one of the fun things I think I've talked about is that will come with an internet upgrade, because the house that I'm a big thing that made me want to get this house is, I don't know if this is a great idea to do, but it's something that was a deal breaker for me in a lot of houses I was looking at, was the idea of what the internet was like.
The big slam was
And
brought down by
yeah, so I would like look up the availability of speeds and stuff when I was looking at a house, determining whether or not I should look at it.
leads him with the
And
pass.
yeah,
The last layup was dropped in by
so I was
Staples.
like, all right,
What a look.
this house was great because it's an inexpensive house. It looks good. It seems like it's been well maintained, and I can finally get
Almost a
fiber
two-point
internet.
opportunity. Instead,
Ooh.
he'll go line for 2.
I mean, I can't complain too much about what I got now. It's like 80 megabits per second. It's not great, but it's not awful. But
He misses
that
the first.
fiber is going to be just so yummy. There we
Sinks
go.
the second.
Rent prices in Madison are wild. That's amazing to me to think about that, because it's Madison, Wisconsin.
Hipsher.
I would put it almost in the same league as Des Moines, Iowa, as far as
Fernandez knocks it down.
as far as
Great
literal who cities.
but they're still down
Like,
by
no one
1.
really thinks about
Clement
that.
brings it up the floor.
It'd be one thing if it was like Milwaukee or something. It's like, okay,
Backs in. Vasquez dishes to the high post.
hey,
Salazar inbounds the ball.
I don't think I've ever seen you on a cam when streaming. Yeah, I you know what? I have a webcam. I just don't use it because I don't feel like using it on stream.
About 7
Lord
and a half
knows I'm
minutes
gonna
left
do
in the half.
something weird on cam at some point,
The ball. They're ahead
and then that's just gonna be the
17
meme.
to 14.
Not to mention, I always kind of look like crap when I'm sitting
Gets
here.
called for the reach, and that's his first
I'd
foul.
almost
Oh,
prefer
you
not to.
can't come across the
Just
body
sitting
like
here
that.
in the same
That is
in my
a
like
textbook
comfy
reach.
shorts and my comfy shirt, my hair just in whatever direction it is.
Passes it to the left wing.
That's why I'll probably never be one of those streamers that has like a webcam. I just couldn't do it. Because I feel like I'd have to like put my put some
Terrific
effort
pass.
into not looking like complete garbage.
Foul and put it down. Strong
And that's just too much to ask for at the end of a long day. There's more demand from housing than housing existing basic. Yeah, that has been the story of my life in the last 4 months.
Goes good, and we're all
Is
knotted up.
January rolled around, I got myself pre-approved for a mortgage, and I had the pre-approval letter, so that helped me out a lot. But
Backs him down.
yeah, it was literally like
Right wing.
I had to. I think I've told the story of my house where I had to offer them.
Oklahoma State.
I had to offer them 5,000 more
Tracy has
than
something
what
for us.
the
Coach
listing
Ford
price
talking to his
was,
assistants a second ago about that
and I
very
did it within a
problem.
day.
He said he wants
The-
to collapse
oh,
their
come
defense
on
into
now.
the paint and prevent
The,
entry pass. We'll see if it works.
Thanks,
The
Tracy.
turnaround from when they
Shake
listed
things
it
up a little bit with
to
some
when they
subs.
accepted my offer was 18 hours. So it's more of a, if you're looking at a house, more than likely, it has like a day
Backs him
turnaround.
down.
Like if it's been longer than a day or two and someone's not taking it, it's probably either a crap house or
Catches
they're
it
trying
on
to
the
wait
free
for the
throw line.
best
They're
possible
bringing the
offer
double
where people
team.
are just
Borchard throws it up.
tossing
Good
up all
from
this money.
three-point range.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 2
18
from the
hours.
line.
They put it, it was like I think it was like a Monday maybe. It was like a Monday at 4 p.m. They put up the listing. I saw it at 5. I contacted my realtor.
Right
We
wing.
saw the house at 6:30 that night. We put in an offer by 8:30, and by 10 a.m. the next morning it was accepted.
If you don't rush them.
Mihailovic backs down. Chewy C takes
There
it
we
up.
go.
Great finish in traffic. They push their lead to
And the
5.
timing was great. That was, I think that's also the housing demand thing, is that the interest rate on housing is like nothing. It is the lowest it's been in like ever.
Gathered up by Borchard.
I was telling my my family, like my my parents, my interest rate, and they're like,
Right wing.
we don't even have that interest rate, and we've got 40 years of credit
On the elbow. Lee
built up.
pushes it through. They got on this roll a while ago and just haven't looked back. Flip up and in.
So I think that's a big thing right now too, is that the interest rate is just rock bottom right now. So everyone wants to buy everyone's picking right now to buy a house. The location of my house isn't the greatest. I think if there's a couple things I kind of change around about it, it'd be okay. I'd prefer a more suburban house, but that just wasn't going to happen. Any of the suburbs around here of Des Moines is just it's so ridiculous. So I'm just happy that housing is as low as it is here. I don't know what it's going to be like in the future, but we'll see.
Dawes has it right side.
But yeah,
Bass
it's going to be one of
passes
those
it to the top
things
of
where
the
it's
key.
just going to be like, yeah, I don't feel like moving,
Picks it up.
because then I gotta get a new mortgage with new finances, and I'm gonna get a different percentage rate, and it's gonna suck, and I'm not gonna like it.
Lee releases. He gets hammered, and he'll head to the
Yeah,
stripe.
being the rare millennial that owns a home, that is kind of a rare thing.
Can't
Ah.
save the first.
Coach Ford wants to shake things up just
I have a
little
lot of
bit.
people to
This
thank
could
for
be an
that.
excellent move.
First off, I'd like to thank every woman in existence for not having sex with me, besides like 3 of them, which has allowed me to not have any kids, which I've seen with some of my friends
The trifecta by Dawes.
that
They've got it within 7.
got trapped in with kids and now have halfway decent jobs, but they got to take care of their children, so they can't really afford anything.
They answered right back.
I thought you were going to
Three-pointer
thank
by
me.
Lee.
No.
He's got 10.
I saw that with one of my friends. He got
Hangs in the air.
he didn't really get baby trapped because he fucking asked for it basically. And yeah, he made some. I've seen some friends who've made some life decisions that, it's just like, well, you're in a position where you end up
This guy can usually
having a
finish in
kid,
traffic,
and
but he was too good.
congrats on the kid.
For him on that one.
Last basket on the mark by Stapleton. The Cyclones carry it up. They're on a 13-5 run.
There we go. That's probably one of the biggest things is I don't have Ah, damn it.
And it's scooped up by Bass.
I could probably afford something a little bit better and nicer if I was married.
Right time yet again.
As to whether or not it'd still be mine in 10 years would remain to be seen, but
Backs down.
we'll see. It's actually kind of funny, the timing of it, because my younger sister, who got married a few months ago, is actually getting a house as well. And it's going to be a brand new house. Like, they haven't even broke ground on it yet. They won't break ground on it for like another, like 3 weeks or so.
You can't just give up easy three-point plays.
And it's going to be brand new, and they were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, they can afford that because they're two different people.
Free throw for the three-point play.
And my sister bothered graduating college. So that's another thing, too.
The Cowboys will take a timeout.
Can you make a vid on YouTube showing us how to recruit better players in this game? I feel like it. I am not the person to ask. I will say that because I'm bad at recruiting in this game. I've seen tutorials I think some people have talked about before. I've seen people talk about on like some of the forums, like Operation Sports and all that, where just be like, man, recruiting is just too easy. I'm like, really? Because I don't remember. I think I might have gotten one 5-star guy in the 16 seasons I've played. I think I've maybe gotten one 5-star guy so far. So honestly, I'm probably not the one to ask, just because I am not great at recruiting. I'm good at using what I have and being successful at it. But having a good team is not my thing. I'm surprised my team is as good as they are. Which is why I always have like those sophomore slumps whenever I move from another team. I had it at Gonzaga, I had it at San Diego State, and I had it here in Iowa State, where like my second season was just atrocious because that was the first season I really was just on my own recruiting, and it was just hot garbage.
He's so skilled at finishing in tight.
She probably has a lot of debt. I actually don't think she does. Because shit. Because she went to nursing school, and the nursing school she went to is, I think it was sort of expensive, but there's what is it? It's a nursing school owned by, like, I think probably, if I were to look, it's got to be, if not the biggest, one of the top 3 biggest hospitals. Besides maybe the actual university one in Iowa. So they have their own college that they train like their nurses and doctors and everything at, and they'll hire out of that college. So they're basically doing their own R&D for people. And if I remember right, the thing is when you go through their nursing school, it's the nursing school through that hospital is a nicer nursing school, and it's more expensive than if you were to just, because we've got like a community college that does that. Our local community college has a really good nursing school as well, and the waiting period's like 3 years. It's ridiculous. But you can get into the other one that's more expensive and through the hospital, and I think it's either 5 or 10 years. I can't remember which one it is, but if you get basically, they get first dibs at like hiring you, and they will almost certainly hire you at the hospital when you graduate. And if you're there, if you stay there for like, I think it's like 5 or 10 years, it's probably 10 just because of the fact that it's pricey. They'll just wipe out your debt. So I think she doesn't really have to. I don't think she mostly has to pay. She might have to pay a little bit right now, but once she gets 10 years in at that hospital, they just take care of it. Because they're basically using you as like, I think she was doing grunt work when she was actually in college. So they train you, and they kind of make you do the grunt work, like the changing bedpans and shit like that. while you're doing it, and then they can hire you from the college that they got you from, and you can work there in their hospital for 10 years, and then you don't have to worry about costs.
We're all set to begin the second half.
I believe that's how it
He's
works.
shaking things up, and this could spell trouble for the other team.
But as far as I remember, it's a pretty good deal.
Inbounds it to start the second half.
I remember my mom, when I first went to college, my mom was telling me to do that,
Passes to the middle.
to go to their college. She was telling me that. I could have, if I followed my mom's advice 12 years ago, I probably wouldn't be a postal worker. I'd be a ultrasound technician. That was the thing she wanted me to get into, was being an ultrasound technician. So I'd be the guy who actually works on ultrasound machines, which is probably a very damn it, which is probably a very lucrative job, because technicians, I think, make some decent money, number one, and number two, people aren't just going to stop having kids. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? After the last year or so, who the fuck knows is going to happen? Coach of UWGB, something good. 5-star when he goes to UCLA. Huh. Yeah, see, that was one of the things that really irked me about NCAA basketball 10. It doesn't seem as bullshit here in this game, but yeah, I mean, that happens sometimes. No kids for me. That's what I'm saying too. I think they've had so many articles in just the last couple of years about that too, where it's just so many people like just all the articles about how like people my age or younger is just a massive spike in not getting married and not having kids.
He's shooting 83% for the game.
Yeah, despite your mom. See, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I looked at, where it's like, okay, my sister, she's married now. She's gonna have a nice house. She has a nice job. Her and her husband can have kids, and she can give my mom grandkids. My dad already has grandkids because he's got. I got a half sister, and she had like 5 of them. So there's more than enough. Hell, he's got great grandkids at this point. So I would really only worry about my mom, and she hasn't really ever expressed it, but then again, she doesn't really express that sort of thing. But I'm sure she worries, and I'm sure she has concerns about it, because she does always mention the idea of getting married and having kids, and especially when I was talking about like a house. When I was like talking about that house, a house, she was like, eventually you can get married and have kids, and you might move to a bigger house. I'm like, okay. I wonder if the world will hit 8 billion. Probably won't take long too. I think at the rate it's been going.
And Tracy is near their bench with a report.
Coach Ford just told his assistants, if we have to defend with 5 guys in the paint,
there we go.
Do it, but I'm getting very tired of seeing us getting killed on the boards. That sent them
8 billion, and the only way you're going to be able to ever own a home, people aren't going to be able to afford a home, and that was a thing that I felt really lucky about too, because I was watching.
With the shot.
I can't remember. It's not really a news channel, but it was some sort of like talk channel, and they did a whole thing about the current housing situation and just how much like prices have been going up for a lot of places, and the fact that so many single family homes these days are being bought up by like basically LLCs or someone who has money, like someone who could essentially pay for a house in cash. And that's why I'm glad that like the housing like shooting up really hasn't hit the Midwest much, because no one really cares that much about the Midwest yet. They might later. That might be a thing in like 10 years where they realize that Des Moines and Kansas City and Omaha exist, and all of a sudden people want to live here. But I'm doing okay for right now. But they were talking about how many of these houses in a lot of these cities were just being sold like 25% markup on listing price, and they were all being paid for in cash, which means they're paying for it all at once. And a lot of these people are just buying them just to rent back out to other people. Like, that's just, oh, damn it, that's not who I meant to pass to. So it's just kind of interesting to see that's sort of a thing, and I think that probably makes a lot of sense, because I mean, even I've even heard a couple of my friends talk about that before, where they've talked about like buying a house somewhere, not even to live in, but to rent out, like to Airbnb it. I think my own roommate has talked about that before, where he's been like, yeah, you know, I could move to, I think he's talked about Colorado. He's like, yeah, I could move to Colorado, buy like a house for like $300,000, and I start paying it. Now, if I can fill the house for 25 days a year, a month, or 20 or 22 days a month, I can pay all of the expenses on it, you know, at this amount of money per night. And then I'll still make an extra $20,000 a year on top of it.
Both teams are going to make some substitutions.
And if he's thinking about that, people with like hundreds of thousands of dollars are definitely doing it.
Lagana inbounds the ball.
Especially since Airbnb has gotten so big now. Like, I think I'm always kind of wondering about that, because I've always been big on like traditional hotels. Because it's like, I don't know. I've always been weird about like staying in someone else's place. At least with like a traditional hotel, that's like you have a room with a key card, and you know you know someone's paid to clean up the place. You know.
Gets it right wing. Last shot was buried for three. The defense simply has no answer.
So I feel like it's I don't know. Unless you're going to a complete shit flop house. You know, it almost feels a little bit more structured than Airbnb, but I've got friends who swear by it. But they don't do hotels. They just do Airbnb all the time. So maybe I'm just old school about that shit.
Has it right side. Doss passes it back to the top of the key. Right wing. Ball hauls it in. That's his fourth rebound thus far. The D wasn't too worried about that one. Gave him room to get it off.
So yeah, I was actually kind of surprised that there's apparently an Airbnb market even here in the Midwest. Like even in like a city like Des Moines, where he's like, yeah, it's gonna be less money a night, but you know you could charge like $60 a night and you have a place to rent out. Like I didn't even know they had that. I felt like there was enough hotels in this place.
From 3-point range by Fernandez. 8 points, and he leads his team in scoring.
I don't know. Maybe it's just an old school way of thinking. Airbnb is sort of like Airbnb is to hotels what like Uber and Lyft have been to like taxis. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe going to a traditional hotel just isn't as trendy anymore, is because you can't just get on an app and then just boom and look and find a hotel. There's probably an app for that, but I think if nothing else, the simplicity of it is probably what drives it.
The main reason they're leading in this game.
I think the price is too, because if I remember right, the last time I ever actually took an official taxi, they didn't really. It felt a little behind the times compared to like Uber or Lyft. And I think the last time I took an actual taxi, Uber and Lyft really hadn't quite taken off yet. And yeah, it really does cost maybe about as much as as, if not more than Uber and Lyft did. You can at least book a hotel online. Yeah, you can at least do that. There is at least that part to it.
From 3-point range. Backs in.
I don't know, but maybe just with the way things are now, like if you can do it right on your phone in like a nice little convenient app, maybe that's what hotels should do. Is they should find a way to put their rooms on like Airbnb. Maybe they'd get more people. Come on. Chuck it down there.
Way up court. Vasquez backs down.
Just be like, yeah, clean room,
Throws it up.
2 double beds,
Vasquez corrals the miss inside.
room service.
Has it in the paint.
Hey, I mean, I can't really say much about that. The Zillow app on my phone is pretty much the sole reason why I have a house right now, because I found it on my phone easily and I was able to just quickly communicate my desire to go see it before I even got off work.
The Cowboys have got a lot of ground to make up. Lemons lead pass to the inside. The last shot dropped in by Doss.
We're up by 15. I didn't really even know about that. We still got 4 minutes left. Okay, I guess I'll just drive in. Oh, God damn it. Hey.
Both teams are making substitutions. The Cyclones.
I don't know why I've been tired. I think it's because I'm not consuming as much caffeine at
Bring
night.
in their long-range bomber, the big threat from deep.
Oh, shit. Add water. Damn it.
Chewy C.
Which is probably healthier than anything, is not consuming
Left wing.
160 milligrams of caffeine at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Probably not a great idea.
The body like that is a textbook reach.
I'm trying to get my water.
Chewy C.
I need to refill, by the way, too.
Skips it to the baseline.
I'll probably do that
Vasquez backs in.
after,
Stolen away
maybe not
by
after this
Golden
game, but
State.
after the next one.
Again, he's making big plays on defense to help his ball club.
What cagey instincts on the defensive end.
Doss catches
I
it
didn't realize I
left wing.
dropped frames at some point. Looks like it's only like
To take away the defender's height right there.
3 or so
Iowa
seconds
State
of drop
is shooting
frames, so
itself in the foot with all the
not
turnovers.
bad.
Tracy has something for us.
Coach Wilson is not sugarcoating the issue. He told his assistants our fundamentals are abysmal.
Just hook shot.
The only
Ah,
players I want on the floor right
I'm
now
being
are the
silly
ones
now.
that can take care of the ball.
Thanks, Tracy.
The defender did a great job.
Why do they
keeping
keep?
with him.
Why do they keep
Terrific
doing
day.
that?
He should
I don't need to
concentrate
steal
on
the ball
just
from
getting
them.
good position.
I don't know why in my head I was like, yeah, just take the ball from them. There's no need. I'm ahead by 13
Salazar
points.
inbounds the ball.
Just make sure they can't make the shots that they are planning on making. I don't need to take the ball away from them. Just watch them kill the clock.
Fernandez backs down.
That's all I need to watch them
Salazar
do.
fires from 11 feet out. It falls short.
Every miss is more
Passes
clock
it
to
up the
kill.
court. It's deflected.
Whoops.
But it's tracked down.
Damn
by
it.
Lewis. 2:49 left in the game. The finisher. The lay-in was good by Fernandez. They got on this roll a while ago and just haven't looked back.
It's nice. It's nice just how quiet
it
this new
inside.
computer is. It really does get loud when the graphics card really starts firing up and getting put into life. But for right now, it's nice and quiet. I like that.
Lee dumps it to the paint. Right wing. Chewy C with the shot. Can't put an end to the scoring drought. But they're still up by 11.
Okay.
It's been a nice run here,
Now
but
we're
they gotta
getting-
keep it going if they're going to get
Now
back
we're
to
getting
this
pooped
game.
on.
Passes down low.
Oh.
Clement.
All right. There you go.
Dishes it
There you
inside
go.
From the paint.
Damn it.
Nearly had a chance for a three-point play, but he'll go to the line.
Trying to think if there was much else going on in the last week and a half. Not much, like I said, other than
To double digits.
I think it's been 2 weeks, right? I think it has been 2 weeks. Almost 2 weeks. Because it's been almost 2 weeks since I grabbed my computer. And this is the first time I've actually streamed with my computer. My new one.
The Cowboys are really struggling.
I was going to eat while I was there. I actually didn't go anywhere to eat. Mostly because I don't know the rules and regulations that they've got in Kansas compared to Iowa.
They make it a single-digit game.
Like I know the regulations that they've got around right now for COVID in Iowa. And I guess I probably could have checked if there was like dine-in or something. Because if I was going to eat somewhere in Kansas City, I would at least try to go somewhere that's like fairly uniquely Kansas City. Or at least someplace that's not in Iowa.
Clips it in for 2. They now lead by 9.
You know a fast food place I could have tried to see if they had it, because they probably did, Jack in the Box.
And they're now down by
Jack in the
6.
Box isn't great, but they don't have it here.
Clement
And
dumps it
that's
off.
one of the things I like.
Hooks away. And it's
That and their like
He was more worried about
their
scoring
late night
than had the
menu.
ball knocked loose. That's what
They're
he is
basically
crazy
hangover
about.
food.
Bass gets it outright. Fernandez trifecta. This
All right,
big
they've
offensive
caught up
explosion has brought
very,
them
very
right
quickly.
back
So we're
into
gonna
it.
slow this
Contagious,
pace
Vern.
down.
One guy starts hitting,
So that we
it's a
don't
lot
find a
easier for the
way
rest of them.
to
Before you know it,
lose
everybody's getting
every
up to the
last
act.
bit of what we've got going on. All right, that's going to be helpful.
And he will go to the line. Looking to heat up a bit.
There you go.
Backs it
There you
down.
go. I just realized I kind of like looked at the score and I'm just like, oh boy,
Vasquez
that's
takes it up.
that's
He
not what we
rips down
want.
the
All
rebound.
right, we're forcing
Just picked up his
them to
third foul.
continue
I think it's a little too late for this, Vern.
to
They're just
get some
prolonging
stuff
the
together
agony
for
by fouling
this.
because this game's out of reach.
Oh my God.
Full 35-second shot clock.
There you
Staple
go.
has picked up his second foul.
There you
Good
go.
foul there. They need the ball back as soon as possible.
Chuisi inbounds the ball. Fernandez.
Just kill the time. We should be there. We should be at the one-on-ones,
I
yeah.
can appreciate their willingness to keep battling, Vern, but I think it's too late to save the
There you
game.
go.
Fouling isn't going to do them any good anymore.
Gets them both, and it's a 6-point ball game. Fernandez is 1 assist short of a double-double. What a pass. Doss fires the 3. He snatches it off
All
the
right.
glass.
Really?
There's a
It was 12 seconds. I mean, I guess you should try.
one at the line.
I can
But
appreciate
shit,
their
dude.
willingness to keep battling,
I
Vern,
think
but
I think you
it's
guys
too
have
late to
lost.
save the game.
But I'm gonna make sure.
Any good anymore.
Perfect from the line. And it's an 8-point ball game. Fernandez beats it to the wing.
99.
Takes the shot.
We're at 99.
From 3.
Really?
Salazar. He
Dude,
fouls
you have
him.
lost.
They're in the bonus, and they'll go to the line.
You've
for
lost.
1-1. Off on the first.
There you go. Go get away from me.
Iowa State defeats the Cowboys 71-63.
That's another thing that while there are some like little visual things about it, I have seen just how well College Hoops works on the PS3 emulator. It works really nicely. The only downside is it is the PS3 version, and the PS3 version of this game did a really silly thing with free throws in that game. And I haven't really checked to see if you can turn it off. And that is using the gyro or whatever it was inside the PS3 controller as the way of like shooting the ball on free throws. That 6-axis controller bullshit of like you got to slowly lift up the PS3 controller and then push it down to do the free throw shooting. That was fucking garbage. And I wouldn't have to look if I can turn that off, because that is atrocious. Cool. Ooh, should we invite him to campus? Oh, you know what? We should probably invite him to campus. Fuck it. When did we all of a sudden possibly start losing out here? People must have all of a sudden, they all of a sudden showed up, and the next thing you know, I'm having to work my ass off. Thanks, appreciate it. And that's going to take up a lot of our time now. Look at that. See, I had to use my assistant coach for a lot of that. Now the other assistant's going to send out all the emails. And get the tape. There you go. Pretty much all our free time was taken up now, so that's a thing. Oh, forgot to change the deal again. Probably a good idea. Especially considering we have the opportunity to hit the big 100. I had to reset up all of this. It's not much. It's just a ticker and some text and a chat box, but when you're very particular, it's a pain. That's at Colorado versus Missouri. All right, so we get to go through a whole week. And then at Kansas versus Texas. Okay, so we're going to have one more home game after this. Whatever happened to Super Blood Hockey? I played it, but I don't know. I felt like there wasn't much more to... I mean, I could have done some stuff, but... I don't know. It just became an unfortunate... It became an unfortunate... demise when I was cutting down things, when I was like, okay, I probably shouldn't have 8 different series going, and so some things had to be cut, which is what now I'm down to 5, which is very tolerable as long as I make sure to actually stream at a somewhat consistent basis. Make sure there's no more... okay, cool. Whoops, don't do that. Phone them. Phone them. All right. I want to ask about something during lockdown. Were you one of the people that snuck out during a lockdown in order... What? The lockdown? What do you mean, one of the people that snuck out during a lockdown in order to... What? I don't even understand what you're saying about lockdown era. Please explain. Are you talking about in the last year? Or is there some other magical time you're talking about? There couldn't have been any other magical time. All right, Missouri. Looks like Missouri will get to be our final, our 100th win. There were reports that people snuck out during the lockdown in order to fuck. I mean... Iowa was never locked down. We were one of, 7 states that didn't do that? There wasn't lockdown here. I mean, I got papers around that time to show that I am able to leave because I was considered an essential worker. But they never locked down here. You could still go wherever you want. Now, of course, at the beginning of this whole thing, going over to Grandma and Grandpa's house was highly discouraged, and having large gatherings was highly discouraged. But we were never really locked down. We could still go wherever we wanted. It's just a lot of shit was closed. So there wasn't much to do anyway.
Beats it to the right.
So if you wanted to go over to like a girlfriend's house to fuck, like there was no need to like sneak out. No one was gonna stop you.
Catches it on the free throw line.
I hear I have to turn down my TV a little bit because, yeah. There we go.
Knocks down the first one.
But yeah, I mean, I heard reports that came out around that time too that people were sneaking out to go have sex or whatnot. Like, that sounds about right. But I never saw it here because they never locked down officially here.
Is a huge concern. He said we have no excuses tonight. They have such great team speed that if we don't hustle back
now I
on
can just hear the
defense on
TV
every
nice and
trip,
clearly.
they'll be shooting layups on us all game.
Thank you, Tracy.
Stupid cheap HDMI cables. It'll clear itself up in a bit, but it's a pain in the ass right now.
Dishes, top of the key. The D was really waiting for him there.
That's how you do it. Keep the heat on. Wait for the misstep and then capitalize. He should
I just gotta
concentrate
deal
on
with
just
it
getting
for right
good
now.
position instead of flailing away at the ball like that.
I think it's a combination of this being like an 11-year-old TV and the HDMI cables being not good,
Dishes it to the wing.
being very cheap.
Swings it to the wing.
Whatever.
Lee.
Hey.
It drops. And they now go up by 4.
Maybe that's what I should be doing. I should just shoot more threes. We seem to be doing well. I don't think I shot a ton of threes. I'd love to. I forget how many threes I had shot by the end of the first half in the last game.
That was a much quicker shot than they might
Maybe
have
that's what
liked,
I
but
should
it
be
was a
doing. Is
pretty open look,
more
so it's tough to
more
fence it.
outside shooting.
Errant last shot by Lee.
Okay, you're just going to leave them there. Oh, my God. How do you blow that? How do you blow that? How? There was no one around you, you dipshit. Of course you bury that one when there's a hand in your face. Good Lord. Not to prioritize cooking over life. I don't care. That's really my thing. Is I don't care what you do.
Left wing. Mark catches it right corner. Casey.
If you're not out murdering people, I'm not really.
Nice little crossover. Shoots it.
Who am I to tell you how you should be living your life?
Great rebound. The big fella's
That's what always kind of bugged me about certain people.
To the elbow.
I even got a friend like that who whenever I'd say it's like, oh yeah, we're going to a hockey game or something like that. And he's like, COVID likes this. He's like, yeah, we don't ever hardly go out to eat or anything. I'm like, all right, so then what's the point of living? What's the point of having a life if you're just going to spend it locked up? I'm not saying you should go out and just, destroy everything. But at least just living your life like a semi-normal person. That's always been my thing I've liked, is just the ability to live like a semi-normal human being.
Has it out left.
Oh, my God.
And it's scooped up by Cooper.
I'd love to see that. He was lurking around, then pounced. Such a deep.
That's why I got like friends who live in California, and I kind of feel bad for them because it's like, shit, dude, you're just not allowed to do anything, and you haven't been for like a year.
Dishes to the baseline.
Like I went to a sports bar and ate before I went to a hockey game. Of course, they want you to kind of wear a mask when you go into the sports bar, and they want you to wear a mask at the hockey game. But other than that, you're basically kind of able to just live your life.
We'll bring out some reserves.
And I really enjoy that.
Body like that. That is a textbook reach.
Would you say certain wrestlers on Twitter live lives of normal being? I know that's going to be controversial, but honestly, yeah. Honestly.
Beats it to the left.
honestly, as much hate as certain people get for the lives that they live outside of the wrestling and enjoying themselves outside of wrestling. Austin Aries. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who kind of hate on him. It's like, oh yeah, because I thought he was saying something about like you're not allowed to wear a mask or anything. I wouldn't say that. I'd say if you are concerned, my big thing has always been, if you are concerned about your well-being, feel free to wear a mask. Feel free to social distance, do all that. If you do not feel like you should have to, then that's your own thing too. I'm not going to say that you're out literally killing people because you don't want to, because you want to go enjoy yourself.
Clement brings it up court, dumps it off. Ball.
He said the vaccine killed people. Well, I mean, he's kind of a dickhead. Like, I feel like that's a different animal than just, I was thinking if you were talking more about some of the people like Ricochet and people like that going out and just, having a party or something like that, and you don't see people wearing masks. And I know people are like, oh, fucking, I used to really like Ricochet, and then I found out he went out to parties without masks on, and now he's a piece of shit. It's like, okay, that's a little harsh. That's pretty harsh. I don't fault anyone like that. I feel like that's a little bit, because it's not like he's sitting here openly endorsing the idea of like, hey, look at that. I feel like it's a little bit different than Austin Aries just going, the vaccine kills people, and it's because I'm a vegan that I don't die from it. I feel like there's a slight bit of difference.
No good with the hook shot, but they're still out in front by one. Swings it to the right wing.
That's
wide open shot.
I feel like there has to be a line drawn somewhere, and I draw my line at people who decide not to. I draw my line at people who have their beliefs and then they feel like they have to shout it from the rooftops and make sure everyone else believes the same thing as them. I'm a big proponent of? I'm a big proponent of the phrase, just leave me alone. If you leave me alone and you leave other people alone, I don't give a shit what you do. But if you are like just being, I don't know, that's just my thing. I don't care how someone lives their life as long as they're not like just out doing horrendous things and they're just leaving people alone. Because I'd seen that a lot in the last year or so, where it's just like, I feel like that phrase of like just leave them alone would keep a lot of the crazy shit that I've seen on YouTube. I watched like a Whole Foods fight. There was like a fist fight in like Whole Foods over some stupid bullshit. I forget what it was, but it really was the epitome of like if people just left each other the hell alone, we wouldn't have this, because it all started because someone decided to get up in someone's face and shout at them because they don't like something that they're doing that's harmless. I mean, you're allowed to think someone's a dickhead. You're allowed to think someone's an asshole. I don't mind that. I mean, you're allowed to have your own opinions.
Gets it on the perimeter.
Just as long as you leave me the hell alone. That's all I say.
From about 19 feet. Swish. He's got two. They're bringing the double team. The Titans take their first time out of the game.
We're doing pretty good there. This is a lot tighter than I'd like it to be. Defense has been working pretty well. Why don't we do the defense again?
Coach Anderson wants to shake things up just a little bit, and this could be an excellent move. The group of kids on the floor play with great chemistry.
Cooper inbounds the ball. Esterkamp dishes it to the high post.
There we go.
Long two was missed by Cooper.
There's no question what kind of defense they're in, Vern. Minute.
Outright.
There we
Backs
go.
him down beyond the arc. Nothing
Perfect.
but net by Borchers.
Very nice.
He's 1 for 2 from downtown.
Cyclone Alley is going ballistic.
Cyclone
Listen to these
Alley.
kids.
They love
I don't even think they call it that anymore.
These kids are always behind their team. Passes
I
it
don't
to
think
Rizzo.
Cyclone Alley is the thing they call the I don't know. Then again, I haven't been to an actual Iowa State game in a little bit, so
Breakaway finished by Clement.
who knows?
They now have a dozen unanswered points.
And of course, the last time I went to an Iowa State game, I sat up in the nosebleed, so I was a ways away from the student section anyway.
Raises up. Good from downtown.
You know what this game could use? A bunch of
Right around
customization
4 minutes
options.
left in the half.
As should every sports game, honestly.
Dumps it
I have to
paint.
look up what the next gen
Knocked down by
Can you look up what like the next gen NBA 2K games were? Because I saw some customization options that look cool. but
Swings it to the right
I
wing.
want to wait till it gets to PC, and that probably won't be until at least next
Lucky break
year.
for the defense.
Or
Whoever was supposed
I
to be
guess this
guarding
year,
him better
technically.
wake up, because the next time it won't be a miss.
Because I've been half tempted to get 2K21
Dumps it off. Backs
just because I
down.
pretty much bought all of them by
Bounces
this
it to the
point.
left.
At some point,
Picks it up. Great finish in traffic. Missouri calls time.
and they keep getting sales for 2K21. I haven't gotten it yet.
Both teams are going to shake things up a little bit with some subs.
I saw they're restarting the EA Sports PGA Tour games. Now they're not attaching a name to it this time, which is probably for the
Dumps
best.
it down low.
Because I want to say 2K has exclusive rights to Tiger Woods, and Rory McIlroy didn't really
Down the first one.
light the world on fire when they made those games. So maybe they would want to get away from that and just make it an EA Sports PGA Tour. But I saw that one of the big things that they were touting was the idea that the 4 majors, they got
Left in the half.
exclusive rights to all 4 majors, which I didn't even realize is a thing that they
Backs in.
is a thing that they
Fish left wing for
didn't
three.
have in, because I knew they had the PGA Tour in it, but I didn't realize that they didn't actually have the rights to like the Masters and the. I didn't really even think about that. You don't trust 2K2. You don't trust like NBA 2K22. I don't trust WWE 2K22 either. But then again, I haven't bought an actual WWE game in a few years now. It's probably been 3-4 years, maybe.
He gets them both.
Yeah, I mean, they've had an extra year to really work out the kinks, so we'll see, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's just going to be the same crap,
Fourth rebound thus far.
because they want to mimic what's on TV instead of what's fun. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, can you just make the game fun? It doesn't have to be hyper realistic. Just make it fun.
Chewy C. The leaner.
It's never going to be a good sim engine because Fire Pro already has that. Fire Pro is already going to be one of your best sim engines that you can get for a wrestling game. So why not at least just make it fun? You want to know what's the video game fan base is? It's WWE game fan base. I know. But like, I feel like enough people, you know what? I wonder, well, I don't think it's as big, but I wonder if a lot of the people who buy the WWE 2K games every year were sort of like the worst video game fan base is. I to be fair, I don't even know what that. I've never like.
Skips it inside.
It's been a few years since I've like dove inside that. I know the modding community was ass,
Feeds it to the inside.
because I know the modding community in WWE was for WWE games was just like people trying to monetize every little thing. I do know that, as compared to a lot of these other games that I've seen where it's like, okay, about as much work had to be put in to do this, and they're not charging people. They're asking for donations, of course, but they're not charging people. But yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff that are like mods in WWE games where it's like, yeah, you can get this trainer, but it's like $15, and you have to send it to my Gmail, and then I give you an online code, and it's actually all online DRM. It's like, dude, we wouldn't put up with that with the actual game, let alone a fucking trainer.
Got the bucket and the foul. He'll go to the line for a chance at a three-point play.
A superior effort to fight through the foul and put it down. Strong move, Vern.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I was dealing with something there. So I haven't dove deep into like what the video game fan base for WWE is anymore. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I only know a little bit about like the current NBA 2K fan base because so much of it is complaining about certain archetypes and shots, and I can't I have a pretty good idea of what the current NBA 2K fan base is like, and I can't identify with a lot of them because I don't play online. At least I don't play NBA 2K online. I don't care enough about that. So I can't identify with all the people with their issues of the park and Pro-Am and shit like that.
Gets it out left.
Seen a video game babies take as much shit and still defend the games. No, I've seen Madden. I've seen the Madden fan base. Madden fan base is pretty fucking bad too. But I wonder if the percentage of a certain video games fan base, like WWE, of people who want a No Mercy style game, is the sort of same percentage in like the football. Like there's always the football community. There's always portions of the football community who talk about how great, NFL 2K5 is. I'd pretty much be in that baseline too, where I don't really play the new Madden games. If I'm going to fire up a football game, I'm going to fire up NFL 2K5 because I can get current rosters for that and it plays way better. But I wonder if it's about the same percentage of people, because obviously it's a very small percentage of people who would love to have a really good franchise mode game as compared to maybe WWE, who would love to have a No Mercy or Here Comes the Pain style game.
We're all set to begin the second half.
Coach Wilson is shaking things up.
Oh, God. The way things are going, I might just have to call it after this. I'm definitely going to have a stream where I start things at least a little bit earlier. I'm just very exhausted. Jesus Christ. It's already almost 11:30, for God's sake. Come on. There you go.
Let's check in with Tracy Wolfson.
During halftime, I talked with Coach Wilson. He told me that he thinks it is going to take a different
Hey, there we go.
approach this half.
There we go. Well, he kind of phased through him, but
Coach said that even though it started
it
with
worked.
plenty of energy, he would still rotate in his bench players.
I feel like at some point I need to test out streaming on streaming and recording on the PS3 emulator. It'd be nice to play College Football Revamped and see how well it works while I'm grilling with my graphics card and streaming at the same time. Maybe I should just wait a couple weeks when I actually have like really good internet for it. It might be the way to go.
Stevenson passes it up court. Casey passes it back to the left wing. Raises up. Good
Damn.
from three-point range.
I was really hoping to end him here super quickly.
Vasquez catches it left wing.
Oh, all right. Well, I got fouled, so it's fine. It's all okay because I got fouled. I've been playing a bit of NHL on there too. I haven't picked up NHL. I haven't picked up NHL 2K10. I think in probably about 2-3 years. Whenever I considered doing like a little series and then didn't do it, is I think the last time I did something like that.
Pass left side. Casey.
So it's interesting how much different the skating feels compared to like the EA games.
And they're now behind by 6.
I hadn't really thought about it until I really played it.
Lee. Sinks it.
I didn't know how his jumping was going to affect that.
Right around 11 minutes left in the second half. Dumps it inside.
Shit.
Vasquez inbounds the ball.
There's no question what kind of defense they're in, Vern. Minimum.
Hell.
Cox puts it
Now
up.
that I think about it, I think I was looking around at like other possible PS3 games to play. I feel like I was almost at a loss, like this weird little loss. Because I looked at a bunch of sports games, but then I'd also looked at like some racing and other type games, and I was like, I don't know if there's anything. As much as I like a lot of these games, I don't know how much there is as far as doing something with them on. I mean, to be fair, I don't do a ton of things on stream, but like, if I were to do anything, like obviously, if I ever finish this up, I could do college hoops on there. There's college football revamped. I think one of the things that did pique my interest is I think I talked about the idea, the Madden 12 create a team. I didn't even realize that apparently, mostly because I think I played Madden 12, but I didn't really dive deep into like the creation suite. Now I heard that Madden 12 was the last year that they actually had create a team in Madden. But I didn't realize you could actually, like, have like a league full of, what is it? Like a 32 team, basically create a team league, like a league full of rebranded teams. And then maybe if you combine that with like rosters and stuff, you could kind of have a franchise with a custom league. And that piqued my interest because I do enough basketball stuff that like I could do like the basketball stuff that I had been doing before with like the XBA, but I don't think a lot of people do stuff like that for football because there's not a lot of. There's a couple games you could always play Axis to do stuff like that, but as much as I like to support Axis, I also will not really pull punches as to how mediocre the gameplay is.
Still behind by 6.
But the idea of trying to do something like that in Madden 12 would at least be intriguing. I would need to look into it. I need to look into like what the rebranding or any of that stuff with teams in there looks like. I'd be interested to see what it looks like and how well it works. Because I know with like NBA, you can technically do that, but like if you're on a console and you get past like 3 or 4 teams, it just wants to take a shit.
Right wing, Lee from deep gets it to full. He's 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. Casey brings it up the floor. The Titans call timeout.
Especially, and this is another thing that I thought about, especially because you could do the stadium creation as well. So I think you could have like a little rinky-dink football stadium too. The idea of creating a 32-team league in a bunch of rinky-dink little stadiums to look like this shitty little semi-pro league would be kind of funny. I'm really kind of interested in diving into that and seeing what that looks like. Because, like I said, I've seen people, I've seen a couple posts talking about it where people were talking about having their own league in that game in Madden 12. And there's not a lot of logos, but, you know, you can kind of try to be creative, I guess.
Passes to the right wing. Off target from downtown.
The intercept. What great reflexes. He pounced in and picked that one off easily.
I'm gonna have to look into what the relocating of teams looks like and the creations and all that stuff. Even if it's fairly simplistic, it might be something to think about.
Gets it right wing. Passes right side.
I'm always surprised that for an indie game, I guess, or at least a AA game like Super Mega Baseball, that they have a really nice, even if it's kind of simplistic, they still have a really nice creation suite. With like a kind of a simplistic logo creator, but with enough like with enough creativity, you can make some cool stuff in it.
Vasquez inbounds the ball.
You know what kind of defense they're in, don't you, Vern?
I saw posts that people make of like their Super Mega Baseball teams, and I'm amazed by the things they do with like all 32 layers to make a logo.
Just over 6 minutes left in the second half.
And then, of course, some of the ridiculous teams. Like I've seen a lot of like movie and video game based teams. I saw one that was like the Karens, where it was just this angry looking, someone made a logo with the shapes and stuff in there as like an angry looking woman with a bob haircut. And it says, "I want to see your manager." Thought it was kind of funny.
Kicks it out to the left wing.
There you go.
Clement
Too late.
Connects from long range. Missouri calls timeout.
I'll probably try to go a couple more minutes. I don't think they'll catch up at this point, but you know, you don't want to leave that too much to chance. This is the 100th win right here. I don't really want to leave that to chance. Of course, you think Karen jokes are. I didn't say I thought Karen jokes were funny. I didn't say Karen jokes in general were funny. I just thought it was funny that someone spent the time and effort to make a baseball team related to it. What? Damn it, just leave it alone.
And that will be his second foul of the game. Missouri is really struggling.
I don't know what I find funny anymore. It's weird. I got some stuff that I'd like to sit here and think that
yanks it down inside. Flip up and in on that last
they'd be like, "Oh, that's not funny," and then something just makes me laugh, and it's like, "Okay, that's silly."
When you keep that pressure on.
Bounces it to the right side. Chewy C gets it on the elbow.
If I started telling you about some of the things that did make me laugh, I'd probably have to just delete all my social media at that point.
Flores throws it up. Can't get the jumper to fall.
You have to hit that.
Hard to imagine he could get a cleaner look. Chewy C.
Okay.
Gets it to go. He's 4 for 5 for the game. Both teams are going to make some substitutions. Substitution on the court. Mark inbounds the ball. Stevenson brings it up. Mark dishes.
What the hell kind of pass was that?
Releases. They rule this one goal to out the shot. Ellerby didn't sit for long, and he's coming back into the ball game.
Oh.
Cox takes it up. He gets hammered, and he'll head to the strike.
All right. We're pretty close to just calling it now.
And he makes the first.
We're right there. I want to get down to like 3 minutes.
Goes up. He gets them both. Porcher is needed out on the floor. He didn't get much
I feel
of a
like this game's just a little too important to not let
The Tigers need to
Sadist
find some
pervert
answers
joke
here.
guy. I'm confused.
Passes it far side. Stevenson shoots it, misses the tray.
Probably
Come on,
watch
another
violent
shot with
sex
that much
anime.
space. He knows he can make it.
I would refute that, but I actually did start watching redo of Healer, so I don't think I can really refute that. Because if you've seen the uncensored versions of redo of Healer, wow. I started watching that with my friend, and it's just like, holy shit.
Big time rejection. It seems like nothing can destroy this guy, but he will destroy you in a heartbeat.
The two-handed jam. He's shooting 45% for the game. Chewy seed.
Come on.
Backs in. Dumps it off. Fires.
Board
gathered by Lee. The last shot laid
all right.
gently in.
We're good. We're up by 18. Less than 3 minutes to go. We're good. Wow, they really started catching up. Even in that 249, they dropped it to 11. There you go. Said you couldn't talk about what makes you laugh. I didn't say redo of Healer made me laugh. That'd be horrifying. I did the recruiting shit this week, right? I did all that? Okay, yeah. I should probably change this as well, because we finally did it. I don't know why it doesn't feel as crazy, but here we go. Our official 100th victory as the coach of Iowa State. Since I've been here, we've had 100 home victories in Hilton Coliseum, 65 in a row. We have officially passed, I believe, the 4-year mark. Yes, we're at the end of February. We have passed the 4-year mark on our winning streak. Let's see here. All right, so we're on the road here. We don't have to worry about recruiting anymore. We somehow got up to number 7, so that's pretty good. We lost to Texas, as to be expected. We always lose to Texas. The Hilton Magic. The Hilton Magic has been great. So I will end it there with our final regular season game, our final home game against Texas A&M this season. They're pretty good. Their RPI's number 65 though, so we'll probably be okay. But nonetheless, we've got Texas A&M, and then we'll have. Oh yeah, that's right. I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, God, maybe I should power through it, and then I was like, oh wait, no, never mind, because we still got to do the conference championship. So we'll have Texas A&M, and then the conference tournament afterwards, and then we start in on Selection Sunday. So there we go. So let's see here. 100 wins, only 5 losses, 65 game win streak. I am tired. So I thank you guys for coming out. I should be. I can't promise anything. I can't promise anything as far as more consistent streaming until I actually move into my house. Because I know the next couple of weeks will be. I don't think there'll be a ton going on up until the few wins. The few days before I actually move in, which will probably be about a week and a half from now. I won't have a ton going on except maybe during the day. You know, I might go on like a Saturday or Sunday and just sort of check some stuff out and work on some stuff before I move in. I probably got about 2 weeks before I officially do it, so. But I'll probably be more consistent at that point. In the meantime, I will do what I can when I can. And I do appreciate you guys being here. Did we just now pass the halfway mark to the home streak record? Jesus Christ. I knew it was a lot, but I forgot if it was in triple digits or not. Are we even like in the top 10 yet? Because I feel like the top ones are still at least like in the 80s. I feel like you still have to get at least like 80 wins to be like one of the top 5 longest home streaks. Well, we're getting there. I don't know if I'll actually get there at that point. I don't know what I'm going to do with Iowa State at this point. Because I still want to try to get that ever elusive, what is it? Is it a lifetime contract? I believe that's what it is, right? Sign the top. I never have gotten the top recruit yet. I have gotten a 5-star recruit, so that's cool. But yeah, I still want to get that ever elusive lifetime contract. I still haven't gotten there. And I feel like if there's any team I'm going to get a lifetime contract from, it's probably going to be this one. I wonder if I got to put at least 10 years in. We'll see. But I'll probably hit my 500 career wins here in a couple of seasons, so that's cool. I don't know if I'll hit 8 and 900. That's some work. I'm doing okay though, as far as points are concerned. That big 200, or no, that's 25,000. That 200,000 legacy points is up there. All right. You're definitely top 10, not at top 5 yet. Okay, well that's good. Because I knew like to get to top 5, it was at least like 80 wins or something like that. Something ridiculous. It's like 80 or 85 wins. And I knew the top one was over 100. I just can't remember how far over 100 it was. 129. Jesus. All right. Well, there we go. I'm going to save it one more time just to be absolutely safe. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. Pretty much hit the 2-hour mark, so that's pretty good. I want to try to go a little bit longer sometimes, but yeah, I feel like I need to at least be somewhat of an adult. I feel like my adultness is starting to catch up as compared to how it used to be. when I was doing this in the middle of the night and I could stay up till like 9 in the morning and just be a tired bum. I feel like my age is already catching up to me. I'm only 30, but I feel like it already catches up to me where it's just like, yep, I'm about that time where I'm about ready to go to bed because it's my bedtime so I can get my 8 hours of sleep. So now my body's just like, yeah, no, this is it. You can't stay up until the wee hours of the morning anymore. You should do that sleep thing. So thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. If you're watching this on YouTube, I thank you for continuing to watch. And I will see you guys next time.